Welcome to all the participants for having taken the time out and have attended the session. So I'll be keeping the session a mix of English and Hindi, and I'll try to keep the session as simple as possible, ताकि सभी participants को content के बारे में maximum knowledge आ जाए. It's a very simple concept that we'll be covering today, but it is of utmost importance, especially when we are trading in the index options segment. So we'll be going one by one through all these slides, and I'll be discussing the very important things to keep at the back of your mind while trading index options. Session के end में we'll be having a Q&A session. So जो भी doubts है regarding index options, I'll try to answer to the best of my abilities. So at the end of the session, आपको अगर से presentation के बारे में कुछ भी doubts है, we'll be more than happy to take it. I'll keep almost a 10-15 minute Q&A session. You can definitely ask your questions at that time. So आज के सेशन में ये ब्रॉड टॉपिक्स है जो हम लोग कवर करने वाले हैं. So these are the broad topics that we'll be covering. So understanding index composition, that is the main part of today's session. कौन से इंडेक्स में कौन से स्टॉक्स है and what is the weightage associated with each of these stocks. तो जब भी आप इंडेक्स में ट्रेड कर रहे हो, आपको अलग अलग इंडेक्स के ऑप्शंस है एंड आपके कंफर्ट लेवल के हिसाब से आप कोई भी इंडेक्स सिलेक्ट कर सकते हो ट्रेडिंग के लिए, इंडेक्स ऑप्शन ट्रेडिंग के लिए. But the most important thing to note is what is the composition of the index. कौन से स्टॉक्स जुटे हैं कौन से इंडेक्स के साथ. तो निफ्टी में जो है 50 स्टॉक है. बैंक निफ्टी के जो इंडेक्स जो है उसमें 12 स्टॉक्स है. लाइकवाइज फिन निफ्टी का कौन से स्टॉक्स है, वेटेज कितना है. These are the main things that we'll be covering in today's session. What is it that actually causes the price action in the index? So today is a very good example to understand the price action. Bank Nifty was in the red while Nifty traded in the green. Which were the stocks and sectors which helped Nifty outperform Bank Nifty? Why is it important to know that if the Bank Nifty is in the red, there is very little probability that Nifty can significantly outperform? Why is it so? We'll also be discussing that. We'll also be discussing key things to keep at the back of the mind जब भी आप options में trade कर रहे हो. It is a derivative product, and derivative product by nature is a leveraged product, and the volatility is also very high compared to normal stock option trading or stock trading. So we'll be discussing according to these broad topics in today's session. Before going to the actual composition of the various indexes, let's basically briefly discuss regarding the benefits of index options. Index options में trading करने का benefit क्या है, and why is it that this particular product has caught the fascination of so many traders the world over. So the main interest of the public, the retail public, and a lot of traders has come post COVID. So we had weekly index options. Weekly index options 2016 से चालू हो चुके हैं. The 2016 was the time when Nifty launched Bank Nifty options, and Bank Nifty options caught the attention of everyone. So Bank Nifty weekly options, that is, became an instant hit. Post that, Nifty weekly options were introduced. After the success of Nifty and Bank Nifty, Fin Nifty weekly contracts were introduced. Post that, we have midcap select index options which have also been introduced, and we have a lot of other weekly expiry options that are there from the BSE side as well. But the reason why it has got so much attention and why India is number one in terms of option trading, in terms of volume specifically, is the type of price action and the type of volatility that the index option as a product offers. If you are a speculator, hedger, anything, the type of opportunities on a day-to-day basis are significantly higher compared to any other product. I agree it is quite a challenging thing to trade it day in, day out. But there are a lot of people who have an interest in this particular product. जो मूवमेंट निफ्टी और बैंक निफ्टी में आती है वो काफ़ी बार इट इज़ नॉट पॉसिबल टू रेप्लिकेट दैट टाइप ऑफ प्राइस एक्शन in any individual stock on a day-to-day basis because there is a collective movement in bank nifty or nifty, but in a individual stock generally on most occasions the price action is There can be many days wherein you can get a 4-5% type move in a particular stock, but on an average basis, generally the stock price action will be between 0.5 to 1%, either on the upside or the downside. So generally, it is a range bound type of action in individual stocks, but that's not the case with the Nifty and the Bank Nifty. Even though the index moves 1% in either direction, in strike prices, based on the various strike prices, you get a lot of volatility and action in individual strike prices. So that is the reason why this particular product, index options, is the one of the most traded products. In fact, in not only in India but the entire world. अगर आप पूरी दुनिया की भी अगर बात करें, इंडेक्स ऑप्शंस ऑफ इंडिया इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट ट्रेडेड प्रोडक्ट. काफी लिक्विड प्रोडक्ट है ये. इट कैन बी ट्रेडेड इन एनी मार्केट सिनारियो. लगभग आपको अगर व्यू बैठाना है, framing the view on the markets is the most challenging thing. Like today was an absolutely sideways consolidation, barring the last half an hour of trade, wherein Nifty witnessed a breakout in the last half an hour of trade. But other than that, it was an absolute day of sideways consolidation. But even in such days, if you get your view right, you anticipate and predict that the markets can be in a sideways consolidation, you can even consider to sell options or a strategy like how we gave today, wherein you sell the at the money call and put options, and just to hedge the position, you buy a slightly out of the money call and put option. It is the most liquid product compared to any other product. जो मैंने कहा था, the impact cost while trading index options is the least compared to stock options or any other individual stock. Even if you place an extremely large order, it will easily get absorbed in the system, and the bid ask, that is the difference between the buyer and the seller, is extremely small. So the impact cost also is minimal when you're doing index option trading. So these are the broad benefits of the product. That's what I just wanted to highlight before understanding and covering the topic in much more detail. So first we'll take up Nifty. Nifty is the one of the flagship products of NSE. This is the composition. The most important thing to note is the structure and the composition of the index. A particular slide may to know, it may be slightly small, but I just wanted to highlight which are the main sectors which make the index. I'll take it in more detail. Also, the next slide also covers the same concept. It is important to know that Nifty is an index which has a wide representation of stocks. There are nearly 50 stocks which make the index, and that's why it's the most diversified index among all the indexes. It has a very good representation from all the sectors. But one sector which has the highest weightage is financial services. So this particular sector over the last many years has held the highest weightage within Nifty. The likes of HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Axis, SBI, all these frontline major companies have a good weightage within the index, and that is very, very important to know. So here on the one second. So you can clearly see which are the stocks which have the highest weightage within the index. So we have the likes of HDFC, which has the highest weightage, followed by Reliance Industries, so followed by Infosys, ITC. ये सारे stocks के weightages आप देख सकते हो. The representation is quite well. So the price action of the index clearly depends on the movement of these individual stocks. So like I mentioned, Nifty Financial Services का highest weightage है. The weightage of financial services is 32.76, followed by information technology. तो IT sector का weightage जो है 13.76 है. Oil and gas. तो oil and gas में it is important to note that Reliance Industries itself, out of the entire weightage that this particular sector holds, Reliance Industries itself has the highest weightage. According to the classification of NSE, Reliance still comes under oil and gas sector. That's why this particular sector has a weightage of 12.12%. After that, we have FMCG as well as automobile. So today is a very interesting day compared to most of the days. You will see that Nifty and Bank Nifty tend to move in tandem. The main reason for that is the highest weightage which is there in Nifty. So Nifty के अंदर अगर आप देखोगे the weightage is 32% of banks and financial services. So almost on 70 to 80% of the trading days, you will see that Nifty and Bank Nifty is moving in tandem. But today was a different day. We had Bank Nifty, which witnessed a bit of selling pressure because the frontline counters within the bank index, that is HDFC Bank and ICICI, they were under a bit of selling pressure. But for Nifty, there were a lot of other stocks which came to the rescue. तो आज निफ्टी में आईटी स्टॉक्स अच्छे परफॉर्म कर रहे थे. एफएमसीजी स्पेशली केम टू दी फोरफ्रंट, स्पेशली आईटीसी का वेटेज काफी ज्यादा है इंडेक्स के अंदर, एंड दैट पर्टिकुलर स्टॉक डिड रियली वेल टुडे, as well as Reliance Industries also was showing positive traction. So even though there was selling pressure in the financial services sector, these all sectors, the rest of the sectors, that is information technology, auto, oil and gas, FMCG, all these sectors witnessed good outperformance in trade today, which resulted in Nifty clearly outperforming the rest of the major indexes. So that is very important to understand which stocks are performing, which stocks, heavyweight stocks are performing. See, there are 50 stocks within Nifty, but if you take the underweight stocks from the index, even if they go 10-15% higher, they do not have a major impact on the Nifty index. But you should know the weightage at least of the top 10 stocks within Nifty, so that you know that tomorrow if Reliance is up 4-5%, there is almost a very good chance that the index will move by at least 1-1.5% on the upside, because the weightage of Reliance Industries is so heavy within Nifty that one stock itself has the power to move the index. Likewise, the weightage of HDFC Bank also is quite high within Nifty. When we discuss the other two sectors, we'll understand that the weightage of HDFC Bank is even more higher in Bank Nifty and Fin Nifty. But I just want to make you all understand that understanding the weightage is extremely important when you are doing index option trading, because कौन से stock index को कितने से move कर सकता है, it is very important to track it. And at any point of time you should know that अगर निफ्टी अभी 100 पॉइंट ऊपर है तो कौन से स्टॉक्स वो पर्टिकुलर इंडेक्स को ड्राइव कर रहे हैं. ऑल दिस डेटा दैट आई हैव टेकन इज रेडिली अवेलेबल ऑन निफ्टी इंडाइसेस करके एक वेबसाइट है. ये एनएससी का ही वेबसाइट है. आप अगर निफ्टी इंडाइसेस टाइप करोगे यू विल बी एबल टू गो टू दैट पर्टिकुलर वेबसाइट, एंड ऑल दिस डेटा जो हम लोग इंडाइसेस के बारे में डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, ये सारा डेटा उस वेबसाइट पे रेडिली अवेलेबल है. प्लीज गो डू ट्रैक इट ऑन अ रेगुलर बेसिस, स्पेशली द नेक्स्ट फ्यू स्लाइड्स दैट आई विल बी शोइंग, कि आपको कोई भी समय पे जानना है कि अगर निफ्टी 100 पॉइंट ऊपर है तो कौन से स्टॉक्स ने 100 पॉइंट को कंट्रीब्यूट किया है. तो 30 पॉइंट्स माइट हैव बीन कंट्रीब्यूटेड बाय रिलायंस, 25 पॉइंट्स माइट हैव बीन कंट्रीब्यूटेड बाय आईटीसी. तो ये जानना बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि आगे जाके भी अगर आपको प्रेडिक्ट करना है कि इंट्राडे में इंडेक्स 100 से 200 पॉइंट्स जा सकता है, then you should look at the chart structure of those individual stocks which can contribute to the movement in Nifty, because the underlying is these stocks itself. तो अगर ये stocks में movement आएगा तो ही index में movement आएगा, वरना index में movement वैसे ही आना impossible है. The frontline stocks have to have good amount of buying, which results in buying in futures as well, which results in the index moving on the upside. So that is the brief and most important concept to understand when trading in index options. The next index is Bank Nifty. तो हम लोग एक एक इंडेक्स के बारे में ब्रीफली हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे. Then we'll go to the key points to key track at the moment when trading in index options. So the next index is Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty के बारे में हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे. तो बैंक निफ्टी में तो 50 स्टॉक्स है जिसका एक अंडरलाइंग है. सो द इंडेक्स इज मेड ऑफ 50 स्टॉक्स, बट बैंक निफ्टी इज अ इंडेक्स विच हैज ओनली 12 स्टॉक्स. तो इसके कारण बैंक निफ्टी का जो डे टू डे वॉलिटिलिटी जो रहता है वो निफ्टी से काफी ज्यादा रहता है. द रीजन बीइंग द इंडेक्स इज जस्ट मेड अप ऑफ 12 स्टॉक्स, एंड आउट ऑफ देम आल्सो द टॉप 2 स्टॉक्स, दैट इज ICICI Bank and HDFC have the highest weightage. So if I take the slide over here, I all can clearly see that HDFC and ICICI Bank have a significant weightage. So 52%, almost 52-53% of Bank Nifty is made up of just these two stocks. If you add the top five stocks, if we take Axis Bank, SBI, and Kotak, it is almost 80% of the index is made by the top five stocks itself. The remaining seven stocks have just weightage of about anywhere between 15 to 20%. That's all. So anyone who's trading बैंक निफ्टी should clearly be monitoring these five stocks. कभी भी आप बैंक निफ्टी को ट्रेड कर रहे हो तो आपके सामने ये पांच स्टॉक का चार्ट रहना इंपॉर्टेंट है, because based on the price action of these individual stocks, you will be able to predict whether bank nifty will continue the momentum on the upside. What is the chart of ICICI telling you? What is the chart of HDFC telling you? Most of the time, it is not every time, but many times we observe that HDFC Bank and ICICI have an opposite type of price action. जो जिस दिन ICICI Bank चल रहा है उस दिन HDFC sideways रहता है, and जिस दिन HDFC चल रहा है उस दिन ICICI Bank tends to relatively underperform. The two stocks which tend to go tandem, which we have observed, it is based on my personal observation. It's not a mathematical thing or something. It is just that HDFC and Kotak tend to move side by side on the same day. ICICI and Axis Bank tend to have the same price action on most of the days. So this is what is the basic observation. But if there are days when ICICI also is doing good and HDFC also is doing good, then it's a very good chance that that particular day Bank Nifty will strongly outperform. You can much more confidently trade in this particular index when the price setup of individual stocks which have high weightage are doing good. So if a stock like ICICI Bank is up 2 to 3%, Bank Nifty will be anywhere between 400 to 600 points up on that particular trading day, because that is the type of weightage that this particular stock has within the Bank Nifty. So if HDFC, ICICI, Axis, SBI, all of them are doing good, then Bank Nifty tends to generally be up anywhere between 500 to 1000 points on that particular trading day. It's all to do with which stock is driving the index. So if tomorrow there is an upper circuit in a stock like AU Bank or PNB, still it will not have a major impact on Bank Nifty, because the weightage of Punjab National Bank within Bank Nifty is just 2.13%. So even though tomorrow there is an upper circuit in this particular stock, it will not significantly impact Bank Nifty. But tomorrow, if there is a circuit in ICICI Bank, Bank Nifty will also be closer towards the circuit point, because the individual stock itself will drive the index also on the upside. So today, if anyone was trading Bank Nifty, clearly the trend was on the negative side. The reason for this was the chart structure of HDFC and ICICI. Both were trading in the negative, even though yesterday we witnessed good traction on the upside in financial services. Today was a complete reversal where there was underperformance, which was seen by these particular sectors. So it was wiser to either be on the short side in Bank Nifty or completely avoid the trade, because even though today's price action was extremely sideways in nature, today we had the weekly expiry for Bank Nifty, but still the trend was not one directional like we had yesterday. Yesterday was a completely one directional trending day, where it becomes much more easy to trade in the index. But आज एक बार ड्रॉप करेक्शन आने के बाद लगातार almost for 2-3 hours the index traded in a sideways consolidation. Nifty was almost there for 4 to 5 trading hours, and then in the last half an hour, that is post 2:55 3 o'clock, there was almost a 30-40 point rally which was seen in Nifty. But such days it is better to avoid if you are a one directional trader. If you are an option seller, these are the best trading days wherein the index witnesses a sideways consolidation. The next index that we'll discuss is Fin Nifty. This particular index also has got widespread acceptance. काफी लोग ये particular index में भी trade करते हैं. So let's briefly discuss regarding this particular index. So first NSE had launched Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty के success के बाद Nifty आया, और Nifty के success के बाद Fin Nifty आया. So NSE basically wanted a more broad based index So Bank Nifty, if you see, is just 12 stocks which make the index. To give a more broader representation of the financial space, a few more stocks from the financial sector were included. So we have housing finance companies, insurance companies, all these companies also come into the picture. So we have the likes of Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv, PFC, REC. ये सब stocks भी आ जाते हैं. The main idea was to make the index much more broad based for the financial services. So if you see the in terms of volatility, दिन का जो प्राइस एक्शन जो हाईएस्ट रहता है जनरली इट टेंड्स टू बी इन बैंक निफ्टी, क्योंकि ये सबसे वॉलेटाइल इंडेक्स है. उसके बाद आता है फिन निफ्टी के बाद आता है निफ्टी. इफ यू सी दी ऑर्डर ऑफ daily volatility order, daily price swings in the individual price action, the highest volatility is seen in bank nifty. बैंक निफ्टी के बाद फिन निफ्टी में आता है, और फिन निफ्टी के बाद निफ्टी में वॉलेटिलिटी हाईएस्ट रहता है. इफ यू टेल मी इन टर्म्स ऑफ पॉइंट्स प्राइस एक्शन, दिस इज बेस्ड प्योरली ऑन माय ऑब्जर्वेशन. इफ निफ्टी मूव्स about 100 points on the upside, fin nifty generally tends to have 1.5 times the price action. These are on most occasions. There is no hard and fast rule that the same price action will follow day to day, but generally it is my observation that अगर निफ्टी 100 पॉइंट से बढ़ता है, फिन निफ्टी लगभग 150-160 पॉइंट से बढ़ता है. दैट इज 1.5 टाइम्स द मूवमेंट ऑफ निफ्टी. एंड बैंक निफ्टी जनरली टेंड्स टू हैव 1:3, 1:3.5 टाइम्स द प्राइस एक्शन. That is, if Nifty is about 100 points higher, Bank Nifty will generally tend to be about 300 to 350 points higher on the upside. Likewise, the same case on the downside as well. अगर Nifty लगभग 100 पॉइंट नीचे, Fin Nifty generally tends to be about 100-150 points lower, and Bank Nifty tends to be about 300 points lower on most occasions. So let's just briefly discuss the composition of Fin Nifty as well. Once again, the highest weightage within Fin Nifty के अंदर भी सबसे highest weightage जो है वो HDFC का है. So HDFC Bank, that is, has a weightage of 30.39. Once again, अगर आप ICICI बैंक और HDFC को जोड़ोगे, Fin Nifty का weightage almost 51% comes from here itself. That is ICICI Bank and HDFC Bank. We have other sectors. तो लास्ट पर्टिकुलर बैंक निफ्टी में अगर आप देखोगे सिर्फ 12 स्टॉक्स है, लेकिन फिन निफ्टी में काफी थोड़े एडिशनल स्टॉक्स है, जैसे कि पीएफसी, बजाज फाइनेंस, बजाज फिनसर्व, आईसीआईसीआई जीआई, आरईसी, काफी सारे स्टॉक्स को इंक्लूड किया गया है. दैट इज व्हाई द प्राइस एक्शन ऑफ फिन निफ्टी टेंड्स टू बी स्लाइटली लेस वोलेटाइल कंपेयर्ड टू बैंक निफ्टी. But once again, it is very important to note that HDFC बैंक एंड ICICI बैंक आर द मेन ड्राइवर्स. अगर आप फिन निफ्टी भी ट्रेड कर रहे हो या बैंक निफ्टी ट्रेड कर रहे हो, आपको हमेशा फोकस ये दो स्टॉक पे रहना चाहिए, along with SBI, because SBI is the main stock from the PSU basket. तो जब भी SBI परफॉर्म कर रहा है, मोर और लेस यू कैन एंटिसिपेट कि PNB, कैनरा बैंक, ये सारे भी परफॉर्म कर ही रहेंगे. एंड लाइकवाइज Kotak, Axis. So if you track these 5 stocks when you're trading in Bank Nifty or Fin Nifty, you will have a very good understanding of the price action that could be seen for the day. तो अगर आप एक कॉल ऑप्शन बुक कर रहे हो, आपको डिसाइड करना डिफिकल्ट हो रहा है नेक्स्ट स्ट्राइक प्राइस लू की नहीं, इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू सी द इंडिविजुअल स्टॉक्स, हाउ द प्राइस एक्शन इज परफॉर्मिंग. आईसीआईसीआई बैंक के चार्ट को एक बार देखो. If you are able to decide that this particular price action, there is positive price action over here as well, then you can consider taking the next strike as well. So that is very important to track the individual price action of the heavyweight stocks. तो ICICI बैंक, HDFC में आज काफी अंडर परफॉर्मेंस था, तो इसके कारण फिन निफ्टी में भी आज कुछ ज्यादा मूवमेंट नहीं दिख रहा था. So the next index which has been recently launched, it's not recently but काफी time हो चुका है, but it is the last index which has been introduced for weekly options by NSE recently. ये है midcap select. ये एक index है जिसमें 25 स्टॉक है which has been shortlisted from the midcap index. तो midcap 150 करके एक index है, if it is there, you can always go and check this particular index on निफ्टी इंडाइसेस, जो मैंने वेबसाइट कहा था, एनएसए का ही वेबसाइट है ये, जिसमें ये सारे डेटा अवेलेबल है रेडीली फ्री फॉर ऑल दी क्लाइंट्स. फॉर एनीवन कैन गो टू द एनएसए वेबसाइट एंड चेक दी डेटा. तो आप ये पर्टिकुलर इंडेक्स दैट इज निफ्टी 150 के अंदर से 25 स्टॉक सिलेक्ट किए गए हैं, जिससे कि ये इंडेक्स का बनाया कॉम्पोजिशन है. It is a very good representation of the mid cap space. The stocks which have high weightage, ये इसका सेक्टोरल ब्रेकडाउन है. तो वंस अगेन फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज का हाईएस्ट वेटेज है. उसके साथ ही साथ कैपिटल गुड्स का भी है, हेल्थ केयर का भी है, इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी. सो यू कैन इंडिविजुअली, द मोर यू क्लिक ऑन दी पर्टिकुलर सेक्टर, अगर आप डबल क्लिक करोगे फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज के ऊपर, तो ये पर्टिकुलर सेक्टर के सारे स्टॉक्स का भी वेटेज आ जाएगा. सो इट इज नॉट जस्ट द सेक्टोरियल वेटेज दैट यू कम टू नो ऑफ द इंडेक्स. इफ यू डबल क्लिक ऑन द फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज, तो सारे फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज के अंदर कौन से स्टॉक्स आते हैं और उसका वेटेज कितना है, ये सारा डेटा आपको रेडीली अवेलेबल मिल जाएगा. तो जब भी आप मिड कैप सिलेक्ट में ट्रेड कर रहे हो, बेस्ड आई थिंक द हाईएस्ट वेटेज is Indian hotels. The last time I checked, we'll just check it once again. So Indian hotels का highest generally weightage रहा है ये particular index में, along with Cummins India, I suppose. So these are stocks which have high weightage within the mid cap select index. तो जब भी ये particular index में आप trade कर रहे हो, look at what the stocks are performing, कौन से stocks out perform कर रहे हैं ये particular trading day में, and based on that you will be able to form a better view. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि ये इतना ट्रैक किया तो you will get a very good understanding of what exactly the market is going to do, but you get a good picture. At least your confidence while trading in index options is of a better nature. दिस इज ऑल्सो द डेटा विच इज वेरी यूजफुल. जो मैं कह रहा था कि अगर आपको जानना है कि कौन से स्टॉक्स कितना कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं, तो आज के डे में अगर आप देखोगे, सी दिस वाज व्हेन आई मेड द स्लाइड एट अप्रोक्सीमेटली 1 PM. इसके बाद निफ्टी में एक अच्छा मूवमेंट आया था, ऑलमोस्ट इधर से भी एक 50 पॉइंट का मूवमेंट आया था लास्ट के एंड में. सो दिस इज द प्राइस एक्शन विच इज टेलिंग विच स्टॉक इज कॉन्ट्रीब्यूटिंग हाउ मच टू दी मूवमेंट ऑफ निफ्टी. तो एट प्रेजेंट आप देख सकते हो लगभग 6 ही पॉइंट ऊपर है, बट उसमें भी अगर आप देखोगे आईटीसी का कंट्रीब्यूशन आज सबसे हाईएस्ट है. आईटीसी का लगभग 12 पॉइंट्स का कंट्रीब्यूशन है. उसके बाद टाइटन, एलएनटी, रिलायंस, हिंडाल्को, ये सारे एशियन पेंट्स, ये सारे स्टॉक का कंट्रीब्यूशन पॉजिटिव साइड पे है. नेगेटिव साइड पे सारे फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज और बैंकिंग स्टॉक्स है, along with few metal stocks. तो आप क्लियरली देख सकते हो एचडीएफसी बैंक का मेजर नेगेटिव साइड पे कंट्रीब्यूशन है, आईसीआईसीआई बैंक का भी लगभग, एसबीआई, फिर अल्ट्रा सीमेंट, टाटा स्टील, ये सारे स्टॉक्स जो ब्राउन में है उनका आज नेगेटिव परफॉर्मेंस है. These were the stocks, main stocks which were dragging the index on the downside. So if you more or less if you see, more stocks are in the green and less stocks are in the red. बट जो भी स्टॉक्स रेड में है उसका वेटेज निफ्टी के अंदर काफी ज्यादा है. सो दैट इज द रीजन दैट इवन दो देयर आर मोर स्टॉक्स इन द ग्रीन एंड फ्यू स्टॉक्स इन द रेड, because of the weightage that each of these stocks hold, that is ICICI Bank, HDFC, the index was not able to outperform in trade today. So suppose if SBI, I mean if suppose आज के सेशन में ICICI और HDFC फ्लैट रहते थे, तो Nifty would have been almost 150 points higher in trade, because the heavyweight stocks on the positive side would have had a much more better traction. मतलब if there was no negative contribution, the index would have been much more in the green today. So even despite the selling pressure, the FMCG counters as well as the IT players lifted the index in trade on the upside. So this is also very important data. ये भी data आप अगर Nifty indices पे जाओगे, and there is a place where it shows the current contribution of the stocks to the price action. तो आप उस पे अगर क्लिक करोगे you will get this particular data as well. लास्ट वाइज इसके अंदर दो टाइप के रिप्रेजेंटेशन है. वन इज इन टर्म्स ऑफ द सेक्टर, कि कौन सा सेक्टर कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहा है, एंड वन इज इन टर्म्स ऑफ द इंडिविजुअल स्टॉक. तो आप क्लियरली देख सकते हो कि आज फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज एंड वर कंट्रीब्यूटिंग ऑन द नेगेटिव साइड, एंड एफएमसीजी एंड कंज्यूमर ड्यूरेबल्स, हेल्थ केयर, ये सारे सेक्टर्स पॉजिटिव में कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे थे व्हेन आई मेड दिस पर्टिकुलर स्लाइड. So fast moving FMCG was contributing almost 18 points in trade, while consumer durables was contributing about 12 points on the positive side. Likewise, financial services was contributing approximately 51 points on the negative side. सो ये सारा डेटा अगर आपके दिमाग में रहेगा तो आपको एक बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग रह सकता है कि व्हाट एग्जैक्टली. सो नो, लुकिंग एट दिस डेटा यू कैन क्लियरली प्रेडिक्ट दैट हाउ मच एवर मूवमेंट में कम, it will not be that Nifty will be 200 or 300 points on the upside, because it is very tough for the negative price action to get converted into positive, and that is the entire financial services has to see a reversal from the negative side and witness buying action. Only in such a scenario will we see that Nifty is witnessing a sharp rally of from 60-70 points towards 150 points on the upside. So on days like this we should keep our expectations minimal. मतलब आपका पोजीशंस भी थोड़ा लाइट रखना चाहिए, क्योंकि एक प्योर सेक्टर जिसका हाईएस्ट वेटेज है उसका क्लियर अंडर परफॉर्मेंस दिख रहा है, तो यू क्लियरली नो दैट द इंडेक्स विल नॉट मूव एनीवेयर सिग्निफिकेंटली इन ट्रेड टुडे. These are a few important points to keep note of when trading in index options. Index options के बारे में तो discuss कर चुके हैं, but few things while trading in the option segment itself. So it is very important when you're trading in stock options to trade in liquid counters. बहुत बार हम लोग देखते हैं कि clients get trapped when trading options in illiquid counters, जिसका main एक reason है जो है impact cost. Many people will not be knowing it, but anyone who has been trading in stock options will clearly know what is the meaning of impact cost. I'll just explain it with a very simple example what is meant by impact cost. So suppose you want to buy, suppose there is a stock XYZ which is the least liquid, मतलब बहुत ही कम liquidity है ये particular stock में. There is a buyer who is wanting to buy at 100, but the seller knows that liquidity काफी कम है. So what he'll do is he'll place the bid, he'll place a quote at 105. So you want to buy something at 100, the seller is at 105. There is no in between seller itself. तो अगर आपको खरीदना है तो आपको हायर बिड अमाउंट डाल के खरीदना पड़ेगा. So you will have to buy it at 105 because the transaction will not go through itself unless the buyer and the seller place the same bid. So in order to bridge this, you will have to jump. अगर आपको चाहिए पोजीशन तो आपको 105 कोट करना पड़ेगा. So that is known as impact cost. Right at the start itself, कुछ किए बिना itself आपको 5 रुपए का घाटा हो रहा है. लाइकवाइज अगर आपको सेल करना है, आपको तो सेल 100 पे करना है, लेकिन बायर जो है वो 95 कोट करेगा. सो देयर इटसेल्फ अगेन वंस अगेन ड्यू टू द लो लिक्विडिटी, तो बायर को मालूम है कि काफी कम सेल, मतलब the seller wants to get out of the position very badly, and if the liquidity is less, here also you will have to face the impact cost. आपको बेचना है 100 पे, बायर खड़ा है 95 पे. ट्रांजैक्शन, if the transaction has to go through, one of the parties have to renegotiate their price, and if the liquidity is less, once again you will face the impact cost. तो लगभग 10 रुपए का तो लॉस आपको ट्रांजैक्शन में ही हो गया, विदाउट यू इवन योर व्यू गोइंग करेक्ट और रॉन्ग. ये तो सेकेंडरी बात है, उससे पहले ही आपको इम्पैक्ट कॉस्ट का इतना बड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है. सो इट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू नो व्हेन टू ट्रेड, विच टाइप ऑफ स्टॉक्स टू ट्रेड इन, जिसका लिक्विडिटी ऑन अ डे टू डे बेसिस. सी देयर आर सर्टेन स्टॉक्स वेर इन लिक्विडिटी में कम इन फॉर अ डे और टू, बट इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू ट्रेड इन द मोस्ट लिक्विड काउंटर्स जिसके अंदर हर दिन लिक्विडिटी है. मोर और लेस एवरी डे the average volumes of that particular counter is on the higher side. You will have to identify that. The top 20-25 stocks of Nifty, अगर आप इसमें ट्रेड कर रहे हो आप बिल्कुल सेफ हो, because even if you take 3-4 strike prices away, very good volumes tend to generally be there. लेकिन अगर आपने थोड़ा illiquid काउंटर सिलेक्ट किया और उसमें भी आप स्लाइटली आउट ऑफ द मनी के स्ट्राइक्स में ट्रेड करने चालू कर दिया, there is a very good chance that you will be trapped when the volumes dry up. So that's why it is very important to understand what is impact cost and how to avoid the problem of impact cost. These are few points regarding option trading. I'll be discussing in the next few slides the very important concepts to keep at the back of the mind. Please do note that there is a consultation regarding that SEBI wants to increase the margins regarding option trading. But these are few pointers to keep a note of when you're doing option selling. So option selling is going to, there is a chance that option selling may become costlier going forward, taking into consideration that the lot size may be revised. जो अभी लगभग 5-6 लाख का एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है निफ्टी का. See, how do we come to know the value, contract value of Nifty? It is nothing but the strike price into the lot size. So if you multiply it, you will get the contract value. So for the particular index, तो currently लगभग सारे अगर stock options हो या index options, लगभग more or less the contract value which has been decided or set closer is closer towards 5-6 lakhs. The consultation is that आगे जाके ये लगभग 25 लाख का होने वाला है. So one of the two things will have to happen. The lot size may get revised, and that time it will become slightly more expensive to do option selling. But these are the other pointers to keep note of when you're doing option trading. Option trading selling side पे थोड़ा risky है. It is a more profitable venture compared to option buying, but the risk is on the higher side when you're doing option selling. So keep in mind that the mark to mark margin is important to track. वॉलेटिलिटी भी काफी, अगर आप आज बैंक निफ्टी को देखोगे 2-3 बार ऑलमोस्ट एक 200-300 पॉइंट का मूवमेंट एक कैंडल के अंदर ही आ जाता है. इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू एडजस्ट योर पोजीशंस व्हेन यू आर एन ऑप्शन सेलर एंड अ सडन लॉस कम्स इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू. सो यू हैव टू बी एक्सट्रीमली निम्बल फुटेड. आपको पोजीशन कभी भी काटने में झिझकना नहीं चाहिए. आपको लग रहा है कि पोजीशन लॉस में जा रहा है, यू हैव टू बी एक्सट्रीमली स्विफ्ट. अभी पहले जैसे नहीं रहा है. पहले तो आपको टाइम मिलता था जब भी आप ऑप्शंस ट्रेडिंग कर रहे हो इंडेक्स ऑप्शंस में, बट नाउअडेज द प्राइस एक्शन ऑफ द इंडेक्स इज वेरी वेरी फास्ट. मतलब 5-10 मिनट के अंदर ही ऑलमोस्ट 100 पॉइंट का मूवमेंट आ जाता है कभी कभी निफ्टी में. प्रीवियसली दिस वाज नॉट द केस. Previously you could trade in a smooth manner. Index used to gradually move up, but of the last 6 months to a year or so, if you are seeing the price action of Nifty, all the indexes have become extremely fast. I'm not saying it is choppy तो रहता है कभी कभी, but it is extremely fast also. तो अगर आपका व्यू तेजी की तरफ है, लगभग 10-15 मिनट के अंदर भी कभी कभी आपका ट्रेड खत्म हो जा सकता है. So you have to be extremely fast when trading in index options. आपको स्क्रीन के सामने रहेंगे तो आपका बेटर रहेगा, बिकॉज इट इज नॉट अ थिंग विच कैन बी डन. मल्टीटास्किंग करना थोड़ा चैलेंजिंग है अलॉन्ग विद योर वर्क. इफ यू सी, if you are trading in index options, especially bank nifty, fin nifty, the price action is quite fast. So it is important to give a bit of time when you're doing trading in this particular segment. The other points to note is stop loss. Stop loss is very very important when you're doing index trading. The reason I will tell you for why stop loss is one of the most important products or procedures to follow when doing index option trading. See, stop loss does not mean that you are a bad trader. It just means that that particular trade of yours has gone against you. And index option trading or any trading in general, you have to treat it in terms of probability. You can never tell कि यही सौदा मेरा पॉजिटिव में जाएगा या नेगेटिव में जाएगा. That is very important. It is impossible to predict the absolute next trade whether it is going to close in the red or in the green. But if you take a set of 20-25 trades, more or less, if you are a good trader, you will come out on the positive side. So suppose we take 20 trades as a small example. Even if you are positive in 14 to 15 trades and you have a decent risk reward, you will come out on the profitable side. So 12 to 14 trades also, if you have a good decent amount of risk reward, you should treat trading in this manner itself. You should not say कि यही पर्टिकुलर ट्रेड मेरा सही जाना चाहिए और मैं सारा कैपिटल एक ही ट्रेड के अंदर डालूंगा, बिकॉज दैट इज इम्पॉसिबल टू प्रेडिक्ट. मतलब एब्सोल्यूट नेक्स्ट ट्रेड में कौन सा ट्रेड सही जाने वाला है या नेगेटिव जाने वाला है, ये किसी को भी नहीं मालूम पड़ता है. इवन दो द सेटअप में भी एब्सोल्युटली पॉजिटिव, निफ्टी में भी 300 points in the green, but you will never know that once you buy the call option, the index will continue the momentum on the upside or no. It is just in terms of probability. You have to take the position. You have to check what are the parameters it's in favor of you or not, and based on probability you have to take the trade. If the trade goes correct, well and good, but don't get dejected if your stop loss gets hit. The reason I'm telling why stop loss is important, see, when trading in index, there are many times. So suppose we buy a call option, 24,600 call option is trading closer towards 100. This is an example that we'll just take to understand why stop loss is very important when trading in index options. So suppose that you buy 24,600 call option, which is trading at 100 rupees, and you decide to maintain a stop loss of 70. Many times it may just come to 66, 67 levels, touch your stop loss, and once again it will move towards 140, 150 levels on the upside. You will be very disappointed. अरे यार stop loss नहीं लगा रहता तो better रहता था. But that happens 2 or 3 times out of 10 trades. That is, your stop loss just gets triggered and the index moves on the upside. Now take the scenario that you do not maintain a stop loss. The price comes from 100 all the way towards 30, 40 levels on the downside. Imagine to recover your position from 30 all the way back to 100 is a very challenging thing. Trading with hope, when you're trading index options especially, is an extremely negative thing. 30 रुपीज ऑप्शन प्रीमियम से वापस उसको 100 तरफ लाना, फिर उधर से प्रॉफिट कमाना. इट इज मेनी पीपल हैव अ व्यू कि मैंने अगर पोजीशन लिया है, मेरे को इसी ट्रेड के अंदर वो रिकवर करना है या फिर आज के दिन ही मुझे रिकवर करना है. सी, ट्रेडिंग इज अ longer term challenge. You cannot tell that today is going to be a profitable day, today's trades are all going to be on the green side. It is impossible to predict. If you take a sample set of or a probability in terms of large number of trades, that is where you have to come out as a winner. So always maintain a stop loss. Recovering from 70 back to 100, 120 is very, very much more simpler and easier rather than recovering your position from 30, 20 rupees all the way back towards 100 on the upside. The next point is leverage. तो derivatives by nature is a leverage product. इसमें आप ऑलमोस्ट एक 5 लाख का पोजीशन जो मैं कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइज बोल रहा हूँ, आप लगभग 2,000-3,000 देके भी इसमें इतना बड़ा पोजीशन आप ले पा रहे हो. बट डू नोट दैट लिवरेज हैज इट्स प्लस एंड माइनस. जब भी आपका पोजीशन पॉजिटिव में जाता है, आपको काफी अच्छा रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट या ROI जो हम लोग कहते हैं, रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट, काफी अच्छा रहेगा. लेकिन जब भी मार्केट नेगेटिव साइड पे जा सकता है, तभी आपका लॉस भी काफी ज्यादा हो सकता है. So whenever the markets tend to be a bit more volatile, stocks tend to be a bit more volatile, it is better to reduce your positions rather than increase your positions or tend to make the position on the larger size. See, volatility can be a friend or an enemy also, but when it is extremely choppy, it is better to reduce the positions rather than increase the position size. The last thing is hedging strategy. जब भी आप positions आपको especially overnight carry करना है, better to avoid naked call and put options. See, now today the markets closed closer towards the high point of the day, but no one will be able to predict that tomorrow also there could be a positive opening or a gap up opening on the upside. Even though we have a positive setup at the end of the day, wherein Nifty closed closer towards the high point, it is very challenging for anyone to predict. कोई भी predict नहीं कर पाएगा कि कल निफ्टी में एक positive gap up opening होगा या नहीं. It all depends on a lot of other factors like global sentiment, the type of views that the large traders have on the market. All these things come into the picture. तो कभी भी आपको अगर position carry forward करना है index options में, do it in a hedged manner, जैसे कि bull spread या फिर bear spread. This is one of the best techniques. Rather than carrying forward a naked call option or a put option, because even if there is a 20-30 point negative opening and the index consolidates for a major part, भले ही आपका व्यू रॉन्ग नहीं गया है, but still there can be a lot of option premium erosion which can be seen on a day-to-day basis. So one of the best methods to avoid this is to consider hedge trades. जब भी आपको मालूम है कि आपको पोजीशन अगर कैरी फॉरवर्ड करना है, So do it in a bull's call spread or a bear put spread, wherein you know the maximum profit right at the start itself and the maximum loss as well. So that's it for today's session. That is what I wanted to basically cover in today's session. Now we can start with the Q&A session. Participants who have any questions regarding the session, please do ask. I'll once again go through the chat section as well. If there is any question related to today's topic, I'll be taking it one by one. Thank you. I hope I was able to convey the concepts in a very simple manner. If you have any doubts regarding the topic, please do ask. So there is a question from Vivek Bhatt. If we trade index options based on open interest on expiry, how do we figure if the stance is changing? See, it is a very dynamic thing. Like you mentioned, it changed suddenly. But it is an indicator which you can use as a reference point. There is no clear cut indication that just because 50,500 has the highest call open interest, that the index may not make an attempt to move above it. How we generally tend to use this data is, on an average, we generally tend to decide the average premium what may be written. So suppose 50,500 call option has average premiums of approximately 100 rupees for the major part of the day. We add it to that particular strike price. So if you add 50,500 plus about 150, which is the premium which has been traded, so more or less you understand that the option writers must have traded or sold 50,500 call options for approximately 150 rupees. So when the index moves above 50,650 on the upside, and if the index is able to sustain above those particular levels, that is the time the option writers will come into panic. So you have to be able to gauge what is the average premium that they have written the options as. You will have to add it to the strike price. If it is the call side, you have to add it. If it is the put side, you have to minus it to decide the actual support and resistance for the market. And once the index is above those particular levels and it is comfortably sustaining, then you will have to decide that okay, this particular strike price sellers are facing pressure and there can be short covering in the market. Today there was very little instances where there was short covering, or the traders must have felt scared, because even though the index made an attempt on the upside, the chart structure of the heavyweight stocks was clearly on the negative side. There was hardly any reversal towards the positive side, which was seen in stocks like ICICI Bank, SBI, or HDFC Bank. So more or less the view remained on the bearish side in trade today. So that's how you can make use of it as a broad indicator. There is no clear cut clean crystal method which will tell you that because there is heavy option writing, that the index will not make an attempt on the upside. It is purely at the spur of that moment, whether the index has the capability, has the legs to run on the upside and trap the option sellers. So, so there is a question: 5 types of index. So these I was just highlighting the type of weekly options which are there in provided by NSE. So first is Nifty, which has a weekly expiry on Thursday. If Thursday is a holiday, then the expiry happens one day prior, that is on Wednesday. Likewise, we have Bank Nifty expiry, which was today. So on Wednesday is the weekly expiry for Bank Nifty. Followed by Bank Nifty, we have weekly expiry of Fin Nifty, which is every Tuesday. Then we have Midcap Select. The weekly expiry is every Monday. So if there is any holiday for any of the expiries, it gets shifted one day prior. For stock options, there is no weekly expiry. It is only monthly expiry which is there for stock options. So stock options, last Thursday of the month, is when the expiry tends to happen. So there is once again a question from Vivek, but I am a naked buyer. Uh, how to decide the targets and the stop loss? See, you have to be dynamic. It is very challenging. I agree. You may be having a target. Suppose you buy at 100 and you have a target of 150. It may the option price may go to 147 and then completely reverse. Absolutely waiting for the target will not help you, because you have to trail your position. So you have to keep that, okay, if it does not even hit my target, still I am ready to close my position if the price comes down below 140. If the target is hit, well and good. By the price action itself, you will understand whether there is momentum in the index or not. When the price moves to 140, 145, more or less at the back of your mind, you know how the index is running up. What is the chance or probability that 150 will be hit in the next few seconds. If you feel for any second that the price is not witnessing a continuous upsurge, then you constantly have to trail your position on the downside. So if the price is at 145, you decide that, okay, if it goes below 140, till the time it is above 140, I will continue to hold my position. If it moves below 140, I will square off my position, even though it is just 10 points away from my target. So in trading, it's not important for your absolute target to be hit. Targets are just additional thing. Okay, it's a good thing if your targets are hit, but even if you get 40 points, it's better to capture that rather than seeing your entire trade being wiped out and again you have to start from zero. It's much better to trail your positions and at least keep your cost as your maximum stop loss. At least see to that you don't let the price go below 100 also. There are many traders who are rigid in their view that they want to make that particular trade go in the positive. So even though if it comes to 80 also, they'll continue holding their position. It is absolutely crucial that once your trade goes on the positive side, especially in index options, it is better to close out your position. Many times it may move to 140 and it may come back to 100, but I agree it is a very challenging thing, but at least consider closing, because if something has reversed from 100 and come back once again, I mean from 140, if it has come back again to 100, clearly the chart structure has deteriorated for the index. There may be instances 1-2 times wherein once again from 100 it will move back towards 140, but those are very less instances. It will really challenge you. The price will come to 70, 60, and then in panic you will close your position at 60, and then again from 60 it may start showing positive action. So these are all things which are very difficult, but it is called risk management, and it is absolutely crucial to follow a certain systematic procedure when doing index option trading. So there is a question regarding how to place trailing stop loss. I think I will not be able to explain that point here. You can just get in contact with your RM. He'll be in a much more better position to explain you the product live on the product itself. So there is a question regarding what is choppy. So choppy is a reference which is the markets do not have any one particular direction to trade. Like today's trading session, generally people say आज का जो trading session था काफी choppy trading session था. What it basically means is Nifty did not have a one directional move in either on the upside or the downside. The index went 20-30 points upside, followed by a downward correction. Likewise, yesterday's was a very trending trading session wherein the index witnessed a one directional rally. So that is known as a trending market. Today's is generally a choppy trading market, especially for Bank Nifty and Fin Nifty. Nifty at least witnessed a sideways consolidation, and then in the final hour of trade, we witnessed positive traction on the upside. So there is a question regarding how can I put stop loss in bear spread strategy. See, these are strategies wherein when you take the position itself, you know the profit and loss right at the start itself, because आपने एक पोजीशन बाय किया है और एक पोजीशन सेल किया है, that is known as a bull call spread. Bear call spread, I can put stop loss in a bear call spread. See, these are various strategies wherein the profit and loss right at the start itself of the transaction is decided. You can close it, putting the exact points in the app. I'll have to check it once and I'll get back to you. But the RM will be in a much more better position to help you out in this. But what I want to tell you is, suppose you'll take an example of a bull call spread. Suppose you buy the first strike price, that is 24,600 call option at 100 rupees, and you sell the 24,750 call option for suppose 50 rupees. So right at the start itself, your profit and loss is locked. So what you have paid is 50 rupees. That is the total loss that you can incur, and the total profit that you can also make is 100 rupees in this particular transaction. So even if there is an extreme price action on the upside also, the maximum profit you can make is 100, and the maximum loss that you can make is 50 rupees. So that's how this particular strategy works, especially when you carry forward your position to the next trading day. These are times when the particular spread strategies come very beneficial to use. So, are there any sure short candle or chart patterns which work mostly on Bank Nifty? Unfortunately, there is no sure short thing in trading. Everything is a game of probability. Yes, definitely there are few candlesticks which have a higher probability of indicating the price action will continue on the upside, which is known as Marubozu candles also, which have a large body and very little wick. That means there is no selling itself at all on top. There is constantly buying. That particular candle closes, the next candle opens, and once again there is buying. Means there is a large body candle. So if you understand candlesticks, if the body is large in size and there is decent amount of volume associated with the body, we are able to predict that there is very good buying which is happening, which has resulted in the candle which is closing at the high point. It could be a 5-minute candle, it could be a 15-minute candle, but large body candles with good amount of volume indicate strong buying action. You can maintain 3/4 of the candle size if there's a large body candle, and you can maintain 3/4 of it as your trailing stop loss. If the body, if there is a correction below 3/4 of the large candle, you more or less know that the view of the market has once again reversed on the downside or the upside. So that is how we basically make use of it. To also, should we look at index or the future chart? See, price action of options specifically is dependent on the future price action, but the settlement which happens for weekly options, that is the index, happens on the spot prices. So what I'm telling is, जो price action जो होता है option के अंदर जो price होता है, that is based on the movement of future prices, but the settlement which happens, weekly settlement जो होता है, that is based on the spot prices. So even if you track futures, it is good enough. Futures if you track the trend of the futures, you will be able to trade in a good manner in the index options. There is no specific thing which can tell you that if I look at this chart, it will help me. More or less, they tend to move in sync, but the price action of options is linked to the price action of futures. So if Nifty 150 purchase किया है, then stop loss क्या रखे? I assume that 150 is the premium that you have paid to purchase it. It is very important to understand the time frame in which you are trading in. We trade mostly as scalpers. मतलब हम लोग मोस्टली लगभग 100 रुपए का ऑप्शन बाय करते हैं. Anywhere between 70 to 100 is what we purchase, and generally we tend to maintain a stop loss of 20 to 30 points. इससे ज़्यादा हम लोग मेंटेन नहीं करते. The reason being is, if the index hits, if there is a 20 or 30 point correction in the option premium, that means Nifty has reversed anywhere between 30 to 50 points on the downside. So if the index has witnessed almost a 50-point correction on the downside, that is when आपका 30 points का option premium का stop loss लगेगा. And if there is a 50-point correction in Nifty, more or less that particular short term view that I had on the particular chart has more or less reversed. मतलब अगर मेरा तेजी का व्यू था और 50 पॉइंट्स का इंडेक्स में करेक्शन आया है और मेरा ऑप्शन प्रीमियम में लगभग 30 पॉइंट का स्टॉप लॉस लग चुका है, इट इज बेटर टू क्लोज आउट माय शॉर्ट टर्म ट्रेड. बट अगर आप एक पोजिशनल ट्रेडर हो, आपका व्यू एक पूरा 2-3 दिन के हिसाब से, देन यू विल हैव टू डेफिनेटली मेंटेन अ स्टॉप लॉस व्हिच इज हायर. These are things which are the individual client itself will have to decide what is the risk appetite that I want to take in a particular trade. But if I'm doing intraday trading, and if I am trading from the perspective of a scalper, wherein I am basically trying to capture short term price action, I am trying to capture 30-40 points option premium, then 20 points option premium should generally be your stop loss, and approximately 30 to 40 points should be the target that you are hoping to capture in option premium. So you can take multiple trades, but generally your risk reward can be handled in a nice manner if you take this particular manner. So there is no particular indicator which will sure shot tell you that these are the best stock for trading today. It is definitely the individual's reading which gives the analyst from when we give our calls. It is mainly the individual analyst who has based on his experience of reading the price action along with indicators. The indicators are all complementary tools. They are all tools which are there to enhance or much more solidify your view on the particular stock. But the main thing is identified through price action and volume. These are the main things. The 2 or 3 indicators that we generally see is whether RSI is above 60, then it gives an indication that there is good momentum. RSI can be one very good tool for trading, as well as the moving averages. So the index or the particular stock is trading above their short term moving average. See, there are many times when there could be a very good reversal from the bounce or from the down, but if it is still trading below its short term averages, it is better to avoid such stocks, because you never know when the price action will fizzle out. So stocks which are trading 3-4% in intraday on the upside, those are stocks which are better to select, because stocks which are already in momentum, in technical analysis we believe that stocks which are already in momentum tend to be in momentum unless there is a reversal on the chart. So do not be afraid of trading in stocks which are 2-3% higher. There is higher probability those stocks itself will move 5-6% higher in intraday trade, rather than a stock which is up 0.5% and expecting it to move 2% higher within the trade, because that is a very difficult thing to predict. But a stock which is up 2-3% means that there is interest of buyers in that particular counter. आज के डे में there is interest in that particular stock, so you can trade in those counters. That is giving a, in terms of probability, it has a higher probability of success is what I want to tell. Can we trade Sensex options and commodity options on SBI? We have not yet started Sensex options, but definitely in the very short term, we will be introducing Sensex options, and you will be able to trade in them. Regarding commodity options, we have still not implemented them. There was a time when it was there, but the decision is at present there is no commodity options which are being traded. But we hopefully we could see in the near term that both commodity as well as Sensex options definitely is down in the pipeline, and it will definitely be implemented soon. So there are a lot of other suggestions as well in the comment section. Do note that it is not that I do not take it. Definitely, all the suggestions which have been written by all the clients today, I will pass it on to the respective teams, and definitely I will share it with my colleagues as well as my boss. Thank you so much to all the participants. Due to time constraint, I will not be able to take any further questions, but it was a very good interactive session. Thank you so much to all the participants for having taken the time out and having attended the session today. We'll be having a lot more sessions coming up as well. Within the month, there is one other session which is there regarding option trading itself, managing risk and all of that sort. So please do join in to all these sessions. I hope the content is of use for you while trading, and definitely wish you the very best in your trading career. Thank you so much.